Technology the way you like it. This is Technology Today. Welcome everybody to the Technology Today episode 34 podcast. I'm your host David Herzog, and I got some stories from the world of technology, and we're going to talk about Windows 10's Group Policy Editor, what it is and what it does to the configuration of your PC. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Hello everybody, what's going on? It's David Herzog talking at you here once again. How's everybody doing? Live streaming on, you guessed it, St. Patrick's Day. If you can't tell, it's March 17th, and I got my little Irish hat up there in the corner of the screen there, if you can all see that. And welcome everybody to the 34th podcast here. It's nice and warm here. It's getting warmer. Hopefully everybody's getting their stimulus checks and, stimulating the economy in whichever way you feel that you need to, or if you don't need to. And everybody's getting the vaccines, and, the coronavirus will soon be history in this country. Well, with that being said, if you are curious and you would like to listen to this podcast, you can listen to it on Spreaker.com in the technology section of their webpage, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast. And you can also watch this when I go live on my YouTube channel, Technology Today, as I am right now. And you can also watch it on my Twitter page as well too. So, as I said, nice, warm, beautiful day out. Everybody's hopefully enjoying themselves. And we're going to go ahead and get right to the first story here. All right, and the first story here is Microsoft News, Technology News 1, encrypting Microsoft Exchange servers. And for the past 2 weeks, the cybersecurity news has been dominated by a series of stories about the Microsoft Exchange proxy logon vulnerabilities. One overriding concern has been when will ransomware actors use the vulnerabilities to compromise and encrypt mail servers. Well, unfortunately, it appears that our fears have become reality after ID ransomware creator Michael Gillespie revealed that the new DearCry ransomware targeted Microsoft Exchange servers. Microsoft confirmed that the ransomware was being installed on servers compromised by the proxy logon exploits. If you run a Microsoft Exchange server, you must take the OWA component offline or patch the server. That's for those who have servers. Home users normally do not have servers, but if you do, you have to do that. And in addition to applying patches, admins should also perform a complete offline backup of the server to prevent it from being encrypted if already compromised. And here's some of the attacks that have occurred over the past week on March 6, 2021. The Revo ransomware operation announced that they are using DDoS attacks and voice calls to journalists and victims' business partners to generate ransom payments. March 7th, 2021. A new Dharma ransomware variant was found that appends the .rog extension. March 8th, 2021. A new ransomware known as Sarblo encrypts your files while at the same time delivering a message supporting the protest of Indian farmers. March 9th, 2021. A new ransomware variant was found that appends the .gopher extension. March 10th, 2021. A new Stop DJVU ransomware variants were found that append the .reig and the .tirp extensions to encrypted files. And March 11th, 2021, the Molson Coors Beverage Company has suffered a cyber attack that is causing significant disruption to business operations. And March 12th, 2021, new Dharma ransomware variants were found that append the .lao and .pirat extensions. So there's some more malware, and it's finally began to affect Microsoft Exchange servers, which is what a lot of us use to do our jobs and conduct our business, online, whether we are working from home or we're working for a business. So something else to be aware of and to be aware of and to be careful of when you're engaging in an online activity. All right. Well, let's get on to the second story here, shall we? All right, second story that I have here for everyone. Microsoft fixes Office issue causing memory and disk space errors. Microsoft has addressed a known issue causing memory or disk space errors when opening some documents using Microsoft Word, Excel, or other Microsoft Office apps. This known issue only affects customers who have installed Microsoft Office apps from the Microsoft Store or are trying to open an Office document that triggers the Protected View feature. Protected View is an Office feature that opens documents in read-only mode and disables most editing functions for documents received as email attachments or opened from an unsafe location, such as the internet, someone else's OneDrive storage, and other unsafe locations. Only customers using Microsoft Office on devices running Windows 10 version 20H2 or Windows 10 version 2004 are impacted by this known issue. Users encountering this issue will see a Microsoft Excel cannot open or save any more documents because there is not enough available memory or disk space error. Microsoft has resolved this issue using known issue rollback, a Windows 10 capability Redmond uses to revert buggy, non-sensitive fixes delivered through Windows Update. The fix is rolled out to all affected customers, but it might take up to 24 hours to propagate to all non-managed Windows systems. If you want to apply the fix faster, restarting the device might help, according to the known issues entry on the Windows 10 Health dashboard. For enterprise managed devices that have installed an affected update and encounter this issue, it can be resolved by installing and configuring a special group policy Microsoft has added. Microsoft is also working on resolving a known issue causing blue screen errors on Windows 10 computers printing to some network printers after installing the March 2021 cumulative updates. Microsoft confirmed the issue behind the system crashes or on devices running Windows 10, 1803 or later after a wave of user complaints were reported regarding system crashes when printing. So, there's another known issue that Microsoft is resolving, as well as the countless many ones that they are faced with every day. It's just an ongoing battle, to keep everything secure and safe, when we're all online here. Okay. As we'll get to the final story here. Azure Active Directory issues take down Teams, Office, Dynamics, and more for some users. This is another issue that Microsoft's had to resolve in the past week here or so. And an Azure Directory issue causing authentication problems is affecting a subset of Microsoft customers worldwide across many Microsoft services, including Office, Dynamics, Teams, Xbox Live, and the Azure portal. Customers began complaining around 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time on March 15th about their inability to use services that ran on top of Azure, and as of 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time, the issue was still unresolved. And going through the resolution process of this problem, at the time of this article, there was a message on the Azure status page that said, "Current status: engineering teams have identified a potential underlying cause and are exploring mitigation options. The next update will be provided in 60 minutes or as events warrant." Because the admin portal also runs on Azure, a number of users on Twitter were complaining that they were not able to get an update on the outage. And this is the first time a Microsoft, an Azure Directory and Microsoft Authentication issue resulted in outages across numerous Microsoft devices. This has happened before. In late September, an example, 2020, Microsoft had multiple Azure AD authentication issues affecting many of its services. From the Azure status page update on March 15th, 5:20 p.m. that same day, there was another message that said, "It looks like Microsoft is rolling out a fix. Current status: engineering teams are currently rolling out mitigation worldwide. Customers should begin seeing recovery at this time, with full mitigation expected within 60 minutes." And later on that same day, at 8:30 p.m. in the evening, Eastern Standard Time, on the Azure status page, there was a message that said, "Current status: engineering teams have rolled out a fix to all affected regions for Azure AD. Internal telemetry and customer reports suggest that error rate for dependent services is rapidly decreasing." And the final update of this message from Microsoft on that day about this outage here occurred on March 16th, the next day, 7:15 a.m. And on Twitter at Azure Support, there was a message that said, "Engineers have confirmed the issue impacting Azure Active Directory has been mitigated." So, we all have our hands full, and we're busy with our lives, trying to use our lives and trying to live our lives and make our lives better through the use of technology. Microsoft is busy as well, and all other tech companies trying to keep our online activities safe and making sure that we're safe online. But there's lots of things that we need to do as well too on our end as well too to keep ourselves safe as well. All right. Well, so we get to that right there. And we're going to go ahead and get to the technology tip of the day. And this is about Windows 10 Group Policy Editor. All right. Technology tip of the day, Windows 10's Group Policy Editor. And what Windows 10 Group Policy Editor is, it's a Microsoft Management Console snap-in that is used to configure and modify group policy settings within group policy objects. Administrators need to be able to quickly modify group policy settings for multiple users and computers throughout a network environment. And usually what that means is that, if you work for a company and you have a workstation and you're in the marketing department of a company, you're not going to be able to, your workstation, your computer is not going to have access to any other department's information in your company except the marketing's department. That way it keeps you out of other departments' information and data. And I have a little demonstration here to show you about this. And as you can see right there, there's the computer right there that I have on. And I got another computer, and that's another computer on that you're seeing right there on screen. And what I'm going to do on this computer is to I'm going to go into the search bar on the computer here and type the words GP edit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. GP edit. And for those who are watching, you can check this out. And I'm going to, and it says edit group policy. And this is how you will get to the group policy if you were administrator, or you want to set you want to configure these settings on your own computers at home. You can keep your kids from doing things on a computer making changes on your computer. If you share a computer with your children, that you can keep your kids from making the changes that you don't want them to make on your computer, whether they meant to make them or not. It's basically just a way to lock down your computer to prevent anyone from making changes but you. And right there, as you can see on the screen there, let me go ahead and get that over here for y'all. This is the Windows 10 Group Policy Editor, and we'll make it a little bit bigger here so you can see the whole thing. And in here you can configure your computer. You can configure what the users of the computer that you have can do. This is basically what your admins use, to lock down the computers, lock down the workstations in the IT department of a business. So you can do a lot with this, and you really actually do have to know what you're doing and stuff to be in there playing around with it. Not something that I would advise anybody doing on their own, because you could do something that could keep your computer from not running. All right. And that's how you get to the Group Policy Editor and Windows 10 operating system. Okay. And now, back to me. Wow. It really is nice out, I hope you all enjoyed that, the stories that I picked for the day, and the tutorial of the how to get into Windows 10's Group Policy Editor. It's there's a lot of things you can do in Windows, and I'm learning this myself, and as I learn them, I'm going to pass them on to everybody so they can learn them as well. And we're going to conclude the show for today. If you're curious and you'd like to find out more information about me, you can find me on the University of Cincinnati's homepage at homepages.uc.edu/the tilde key Herzog DL, or you can listen to this podcast on Spreaker.com in the technology section of their webpage, and on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast. You can also watch this podcast on my YouTube channel, Technology Today, and on my Twitter page as well too. And I'd like to thank everyone for listening and watching today. And I'll be talking at you soon. Goodbye. Keep yourself safe. Stay alive. Stay healthy. And stay working.